much to offer you to drink. I have
Water is
and
fine.
water for you.
Thank you.
Look what I was reading as I was preparing for the interview.
Yeah. Dodging knives and throwing bullets. This was about 8 years worth of work that I did. And the way that this book happened was absolutely something that could never happen in any way that was planned. But that book was one of those things where it was a Hail Mary that happened in a way that could not be predicted.
You know, a highlight in your life, right?
For sure. Any artist would always say yes to having their own art book, I would think, I'd imagine.
You have an exhibition opening here in October. Tell me about it.
The show is called Deconstructing Vaughn Belak. It is not anything that the people who followed my work would expect. This isn't a typical Vaughn October event. There's not going to be any monsters. There's not going to be any witches. There's none of that. The artwork in this show is much more personal. This show is much more me than the work that I'm known for. So it's absolutely something that people won't expect.
Do you think your fans that are kind of expecting to see maybe something that you produced in the past, are they going to be disappointed or are they going to be excited?
What I hope is that they're excited. What I hope is that they appreciate seeing a different part of me that I've never presented this way before. That's what I hope.
Why did you choose the title? I like the one we were working on. I killed Vaughn Belak, and by the way, Belak is pronounced B as in B, not Belak.
Yes.
Why don't you?
Long E, short A.
Why don't you correct more people?
Because I would spend my entire day correcting people about my name. But I'm the only Vaughn Belak on the planet, so I'm pretty recognizable.
On the planet.
I've done the research, yeah. I'm it.
So I wanted to ask you about something that you and I talked about. I thought it was very interesting. It's your approach to local celebrity fame, or I think you call it name recognition. You know, sometimes I wonder if artists understand that if you didn't have that, you have nothing.
As far as the name recognition thing, it's something you build. Like it's another tool. It's something that I've had to cultivate, and it has value. It's not like I just, shit all over the idea of having a name that people recognize, but I do recognize for myself that it's not the most important thing. The work itself is important. If I didn't have the name though, if I wasn't who I am, nobody would give a shit. Nobody's gonna show up to.
So how come that is not the most important part? That's what I keep telling you. If you didn't have the name recognition, you wouldn't be here.
It's no more important than my paintbrush. So if you can get people in because of who you are, your name, your history, some kind of drama, some kind of gossip, something, whatever the fuck it is. Use it. It's the story.
The story.
So I use that the same way I would use a paintbrush. It's important, but it's only so important. If it wasn't for the work, it wouldn't matter.
Now this question matters to me. How do you help? Because we pride ourselves at the Mills Gallery to encourage all of the artists, all of the creators that we work with to have a charity or have a person or a group of people that they help. You're involved in many groups, your community, as many as there are. How do you help your community? How do you help your fellow artists? How do you make things better in Orlando?
I'm involved in a lot of aspects of recovery. I have a lot of history of drugs and alcohol in my life, and the idea that I could get through that and be able to recover and become able to at least do a fairly decent impersonation of a decent person, I don't want to take much credit for any of that. If I can show somebody that you can be creative and productive and you don't have to be drunk or high or whatever, I used to think I had to drink in order to be creative, and the fact that I don't, if I can show somebody that, then that's important to me.
I wanted to advertise this event in a different way. This is Vaughn Belak's dirty psychological laundry.
Sure.
But it is, in a way.
Definitely.
Because when this started, it wasn't about what you were going through, and now it is entirely about what you're going through.
Yeah.
What do you want people to take away from this experience?
I want them to come and see a different thing, a different aspect of what I do. I want them to come and when they leave, I want them to have a different impression of me as an artist. I've been on this kind of street level plane for so long, and the decision to come into the gallery world is something that consciously I've been pursuing. And when the opportunity was presented, and thank you, when the opportunity was presented, I just ran with it. I didn't know if I could do it, but the way things have kind of unraveled in my personal life, and then the name of the show being Deconstructing Me, art imitates life in a way that sometimes you can't expect it. And in this case, I really should have rethunk the name of the show.
Really?
Yeah, because
now you admit it.
it's all coming true. That's the thing.
How does it feel to be so vulnerable? You're bleeding for your audience this time. That must have a different feeling to it.
That's not true. This is
not true.
This is absolutely the most vulnerable
Yes.
position, creatively, professionally, personally, mentally, spiritually, all of the above that I've ever been. I'm literally just a raw fucking bundle of nerves exposed. And so a lot of these paintings, the colors represent, they can represent pain, it can represent disconnection. There's a lot of things to this show that I've never ever explored before with the work that I do.
Is that why this is probably the most important art event that you have created so far?
It didn't start that way, but yeah, it's definitely taken on a new level of importance to me anyway. Getting all of this shit out of myself, getting all of this stuff that's just poison inside of me.
Noise, as you call it.
It's
right?
definitely noise. It's definitely fucking noise. Getting it out and onto the canvas in any way I've been able to, I can only assume it helps, but I'm not there yet. I don't feel it yet.
I want to end with this. When you and I met, both of us were beginning to go through these terrible experiences. We get to know each other. I think because of what we were going through and, befriending each other in the process, which makes us human. And
No, we became friends through this,
we
for
did.
sure.
But you're going through something very serious. And I know there are other people that are watching this and going through something very serious. What advice do you have for somebody that is watching this, gets entirely what you're saying, but has no one to give him a good word of advice? What will be your advice to this person?
I would just talk to them about how pain has a way of teaching you lessons that you would never expect that you'd be able to make it through. And if you can continue walking through that and get to the other side of that hallway of whatever that is, and be able to maybe sit down with somebody that's going through the same thing and share that experience the same way I would share with them and the same way that people shared it with me, then that makes whatever that situation was worthwhile. If I can pass it to somebody else and say, you can do this because I can do this. I'm no better or worse than fucking anybody. I'm just a guy going through some situations that I don't know how to navigate gracefully. And keep moving is really the one thing I would say, is just to continue to walk through whatever that fucking thing is.
Fair enough. I thought that's what you were going to say.
Yeah.
To not stop, just keep going. Kind of
Keep
because
going.
That's kind of what you and I did. We didn't stop.
Yeah.
I think this is, like I said, a really interesting event because people are going to be looking for things in your paintings. They are.
I do.
Now that we've kind of established that it's about, your stuff. I'm very excited about this. I'm glad you and I found each other again after a long time.
Absolutely.
Because my career started with you. My very first art event was at an exhibition of yours 11 years ago, which is it's interesting way.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's wild. But anyway, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for everything, and thank you for this opportunity, and I truly appreciate all the effort you put into this.
Friday, October 2nd, Deconstructing Vaughn Belak at 6:30 at Mills Gallery. Please be there. It's going to be cool.
See you there.